We grew and grew and grew by 30% a year for 13 years in a row. Then the recession hit. We did really well during that time.
Why do you think that was?
You don't have to start a business from scratch. All entrepreneurship education is based on startups. It's so much less risky to go buy an existing business and turn it around. We say work-life integration. It's not balanced. You will not hear from me until 8 a.m. Monday. That is totally unrealistic.
Doesn't work.
It just ain't going to happen.
What do you say to someone who's going through something similar right now? Hey, payroll's tomorrow. Can't meet it. We're in deep.
I don't know. What do I say to him?
We want to give a special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Greenwood Gerhardt. Starting with my parents, for years, they've helped my family feel at peace by having a team we can trust build our finances for the future. One thing I love about Greenwood Gerhardt is how directly involved the team is in the holistic planning of our finances. We can regularly check in with our advisor and know that they see the full picture of our family, even between generations. I know they're adding immense value to so many lives here in Northwest Arkansas. And to learn more about Greenwood Gerhardt and their suite of services, you can visit their website at greenwoodgerhardt.com or hit the link in the show description. Now, let's dive into the episode. Mark, thanks for coming on. In this season, what keeps you so motivated to, it feels like you're just going all gas still.
I really am.
Content, business, just like you've had a lot of layers of success. There's been other things in there too, I'm sure, which I want to talk about, but sure. What keeps you going at the speed you're going right now?
I don't know. I don't know any other way is the bottom line. It's just, you have to, at some point, you just have to come to grips with who you are and you just do your thing. And that's the way it is. And I'm wired to work. I'm wired to create opportunities for myself and others. And it's just, I just can't help it.
Yeah.
And I like solving problems. It's not all fun. Honestly, I was just saying to one of my partners in one of the businesses I'm involved with today, I said, I think the last 6 months have aged me 5 years, but we always prevail though. We always prevail in the end.
Do you still take a risk?
Oh God, yes. Are you kidding? Right now I just had to commit. I'll just say it. Just had to commit yesterday to put $100,000 into a business that's already lost over $2 million this year and has a negative net worth. Okay. And I sent 50,000 in 2 weeks ago. You might say, well, that's not a huge amount of money, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also a guarantor along with another guy in all the bank loans for that, but we take risk. Absolutely. I'm not afraid of risk though.
Why?
Because I feel I don't take any risks that I think are stupid. And B, I have confidence that we'll do what we need to do to overcome any problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe in yourself.
Yeah. I just don't give up. I not just myself. I only work with people that I feel like I trust and have the same work ethic and commitment.
To get it done.
Yeah. To get it done.
Yeah.
And you just don't give up. You just keep working at it and you'll eventually figure it out. As long as you can survive. My goal in any business is survive long enough till something good happens.
Yeah, to get lucky.
That's what I tell everybody.
What do you love about the business community in Northwest Arkansas? You're so involved in it.
So much. We just have really good people here that are really nice and very accepting of other people. And it's not an old guard versus a new guard kind of thing. And I think that's really refreshing. We welcome outsiders into the business community here.
Yeah.
It was explained to me once that, the difference in here in Little Rock. Years ago, I was with a firm. I was an owner in a firm based in Memphis, and we had an office in Little Rock. We also had one in Greenwood, Mississippi, and Huntsville, Alabama. But it was explained to me once that the difference between here and Little Rock is like night and day. But Little Rock, that area was settled by slave-owning plantation owner British. And Northwest Arkansas was just a bunch of, Irish and Scottish immigrants running to grab their 160 acres and then claw their way out of the dirt. and just nobody had anything here.
Yeah.
You know, and that two-class society culture still exists, you know, in other parts of the state.
Yeah.
And to me, a lot of it is sort of the difference in the culture of being the South versus the Wild West. We are at the gateway of the Wild West here.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone say it like that. It does kind of feel Wild West, guys. It's just like, you want to do something, go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a welcome. The people are great. I mean, I always say Northwest Arkansas, we're not the best for any one thing, but we're the best overall place to live. When you come right down to it. I mean, air quality is pretty good. It's, you know, we don't have like big dirty industries. We've got, you know, good water. We've got reasonably affordable cost of living. Of course, it's going up a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
everywhere else is though too.
It is. It's true. Traffic could be a lot worse than it is. Schools are pretty good. I mean, like I've been super happy with Fayetteville High for my last two kids that go there. Yeah. You know, they went to private school up till 14 and now they're in public. And well, one of them's gone through the system. Four of them have gone through the system, but one's still in it. But you know, it's surprising. People would be like, you got a good high school in Arkansas. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a Fayetteville High grad. I loved it.
You can do anything there. I mean, between the sports, the music, the theater, the art.
It's all there.
AP, everything. It's all there.
So talk about what brought you to Northwest Arkansas. Let's get. I mean, I want to get. You know, you've done so many different things. I like a lot of what we're trying to do is get people's stories. Hopefully, encourage folks by people's stories. And so, where'd you grew up in Missouri?
Yeah, I grew up outside St. Louis in Kirkwood. Yeah. It's right off Highway 44. This side. What motivated me to come here? It was multifaceted. I had sold my business. Well, I knew I was going to sell it. You know, it's a long process, let's face it. The company that's Zweig Group today was Zweig White. Started it in 88 in the Boston area. And lived there. And we sold it in 2004, fall of 2004.
And the core of the business, consulting?
60% consulting, 40% products. Products in our case, it was all of our clients and customers were architects, engineers, planners, surveyors, et cetera. So those are all our customers. Consulting, we did M&A, we did business planning, and the firm still does all these things. Marketing, consulting, appraisal, financial turnarounds, you know, wide executive search, retained, wide variety of services, all business related. We sold software to the industry. We were resellers of a package that was sort of an integrated software package for architects and engineers.
Okay.
Deltec, largest provider to the industry. And then the product side for us was really newsletters, books, these survey reports that the firm still does today, although they've expanded those offerings quite a bit. On things like valuation of privately held architecture and engineering firms. We had that data, nobody else had it.
Okay.
Seminars, online education, events.
And you're creating this?
All our stuff. Yeah, we only sold stuff that we owned 100%.
And were you like a content creator kind of from birth? I mean, was that just all kind of always on you? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, probably. I mean, I wanted to be an architect as a kid. I got seduced away by the world of business when I went to work for bike shops, but I was the editor of my school paper at one point, and then, you know, I always wrote a lot. When I got out of grad school, I went to work in a firm that served the architecture and engineering industry, just like Zweig Group does today. And I started writing for a newsletter in that served that industry. And that's really how I got started. I got known from that. Today, the Zweig letter I think we have well over 20,000 subscribers, and God knows what the pass around is.
Jeez.
So it's been out there a long time. And, but yeah, I did create a lot of content.
What do you think, I mean, what do you think the secret to content creation is right now and today's world to not get, I don't know, just not
not get buried or noticed or.
I mean, if I can say it, I'd say keep the bullshit to a minimum. I mean, there's so much, so many cliches and so little original thought out there. I just think if you're really honest and really direct and you can relate, I don't want to say storytelling because I hate that cliche too. Okay. I'm a storyteller. If you get on LinkedIn, just plug in storyteller and you will get like 10 jillion profiles. Everybody's a storyteller now. But, having experience and being able to reflect that and being honest. I mean, I think if you want to be a good content creator, it's just like working out. You got to do it every day.
Yeah.
You got to have a schedule. You've got to have certain discipline in your writing, but it really does help you organize your thinking to do it. But just being honest, being direct, sharing, not necessarily, and I'm not saying you got to be crude or you got to be, but it does help sometimes, I think, to be contrarian.
Yeah, you don't be somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, when people give talks and all they do is quote some other author's book, I'm like, gee, I can read that.
Yeah.
If I want to talk to that dude, I'm going to call him up.
Yeah.
Why do I care what this guy says? I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
That was always my approach. I never quoted the other guy unless I was trying to poke fun at him.
That's interesting. So go back to late 80s, you start Zweig Group.
Yeah, late 80s, I started Zweig Group. Our goal was always build it up and sell it. We did build, we were on the Inc. 500 list twice when it was only 500 companies. We grew and grew and grew by 30% a year for 13 years in a row. We had it sold.
Jeez.
We had it sold in 2001, and we were in the final throes of the purchase and sale agreement negotiation when 9/11 happened.
God.
I was also flying out of Boston that morning, by the way, with another one of my partners, but we didn't go after the plane started crashing.
God.
But they bailed though, and they just completely pulled out and said, we're not buying anybody. And so we were all mentally shifting out, at that point. And then we had to go back and slog it out for 3 more years till 2004. Which we did, and then we sold the company to a private equity firm, which I knew was going to happen. It was a long process, So started thinking about where did I want to go. I mean, I could have stayed up there. I like living in the Boston area. I was in a beautiful town, Dover, Massachusetts, and my office was in Natick. And it was the first time I remember distinctly thinking to myself, this is the first time in my life that I don't pass anything ugly between my house and the office. No metal buildings, no chain restaurants, no anything.
Real culture.
Gorgeous, 2-lane country roads, old, picturesque, everything. It was fantastic. I had a house on the Charles River. My next door neighbor was Pierre DuPont V. And, I had 6 acres. We had horses. I mean, it was a beautiful area. But, 2 things. One is, I traveled all the time. I was gone. And it suddenly, it dawned on me, I'm going to be here in the winter, and this place is really grim.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it starts getting cold in September, and it's not going to be nice till April, May. It's like, God, the winter is depressing and long. That was one thing. And the other thing was just the cost of living, is high up there. I mean, it's great if you're making $1 million plus a year, but it's not when you're not.
Yeah.
And then, my parents were aging. They lived in Kirkwood still in the same house I grew up in, and wanted to be able to see them more. And so also, at that time, I got married to a woman who grew up around here.
Okay.
She was born in Miami, but they moved to Pine. I guess they were in Jane or somewhere like that up there, right across the border. And then they moved to Bentonville and Rogers and Bella Vista. And she went to school at the U of A.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, that was nice. And then the last thing was I got an opportunity to teach entrepreneurship here. So I started, I was introduced to the then dean of the the College of Business by a mutual friend of mine who did not live here at the time, but he does now. He was also the successor dean of this particular individual. But
did you know you wanted to teach?
Absolutely. That was a really important thing to me. I wanted to go somewhere to teach. So I looked at, I had opportunities to go to, potential to Georgia Tech, University of Wisconsin, University of Missouri, Columbia, and KU.
Okay.
Those were all places that I could potentially go.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I got the opportunity to come here at Doyle Williams, met Doyle Williams. He was the dean at the time. And, my buddy arranged a meeting. He hired me on the spot.
Wow.
And so I only had one class, and I just flew down one night a week from Boston to teach it. And then we bought a house down here, and it was a good excuse to come down and work on that too.
Sure.
And we bought the house of the guy who started Wilson Park. It was A.L. Trent's house. It's at the top of Prospect.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the CEO of Acre Trader lives in it now.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. And so, I mean,
so the stars all aligned.
And was that the kickoff to the remodel development?
No, I always redid houses. I clawed my way up the property ladder. The first house I built new, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I said, I'm never going to do that again. I mean, I can't even tell you all the problems, Cameron. It was crazy. Like I go away for the weekend, I come back, and it was a treed lot. And they just took a bulldozer and just shoved all the trees to the back of the lot. It was about a 40-foot high pile. I was horrified. I'm like, what?
Oh, gosh.
I didn't even anticipate that, though. I was 23 years old. I didn't know anything about building. You know what I mean? Anyway, so after that, all I did is buy old houses and redo them. I spent too much money on that new one. We were dirt poor, house poor. I was doing body work on the weekends and working in the bike shop just to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, I'm never doing that again. I'm going to buy cheap houses in good neighborhoods that need a lot of work that I won't be broke living in.
One of the things I read, you kind of call yourself a fixer, just like business, houses, like, you talk about that a little bit?
I just like to improve things. I like leaving it better than when I got there. It's really gratifying. I mean, you're in the redevelopment business. Yourself. I mean, you can look at your buildings over here. I think about that dry cleaner building and what a dump that was, and the pool hall that was in there. And my God, I don't know how you got that place not smelling like a cigarette, but I commend you. And now you've got these beautiful businesses in there, and it looks great. There's not like, kind of rough looking women sitting out on the curb smoking like there used to be in front of the dry cleaner.
No more dollar beers though.
No more dollar beer. The pool hall was such a classy place. But I mean, you've transformed that. You've made value where there was none previously, or certainly less, one could say. And, it's just very gratifying. I mean, to me, I look at it as like a 3D art project, the houses and the buildings. It's public art, It's like you show people what you can really do with this. But, other than that, I mean, I've restored motorcycles, I've restored cars, I've been involved in a lot of turnarounds. My personal preference, and one of my sort of, crosses that I bear in the College of Business, working in the Department of Entrepreneurship, is that you don't have to start a business from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what it's like all entrepreneurship education is based on startups. Let's measure the number of startups. How much capital did the startups raise? It's so much less risky to go buy an existing business and turn it around. Okay?
Even if it's not profitable.
Even if it's not profitable, exactly. It's got a history, it's got a location, it's got employees, it's got customers, it's got some business, right? Yeah. It's got assets, equipment, suppliers. So I like that. I like doing renovations better than a new building too.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done both.
Especially in today's market, like unless you've got the business you're putting in the building, it's like you're probably not going out and building a new building. Or have the tenants already in hand. It's like,
Oh yeah, it is great if you do have your own business to put in the building.
Yes,
that sure makes a lot of sense. But it's like, yeah, I don't even like having a clean sheet of paper. It's like I enjoy
the inspiration of trying, or the problem of trying to,
the constraints. I don't know why. I think people are either geared one of those two ways, though.
Yeah, I think I'm the same as you.
You know.
So when you moved here, you bought the house here, and it was like, okay, then you started teaching more full time. And
I bought that house. I mean, we weren't even, I can't say I was 100% committed to move here even when we bought that house, but we did, and we did end up moving here. So I was teaching, and over time that expanded to where I'm now a full-time faculty, but that was great. But in 2005, we decided we were going to start doing these businesses, do the house thing as a business.
Sure.
And so I incorporated that as Mark Zweig Inc. in January of 2005. And we started buying up houses down here, close in walk to town locations, Wilson Park, Washington Willow, Skyline Drive, Dixon Square area.
Yep.
And redoing them. And it was good. It was really funny. I mean, I know it's probably hard for you to imagine at this point in time the way things are here now, but back then people thought I was crazy. They're like, you think you're going to redo these houses and sell them for $300 a square foot? Who in the world is going to buy that?
I can buy this for $110 a foot.
I can go to Candlewood and get a really nice house for $120. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, not everybody wants to live in freaking Candlewood.
Yeah.
People want to walk to town. And I knew there was a target audience. I think with a lot of businesses, if you think about yourself as a potential customer and what you like, there's probably other people out there like you. So in my case, like, I want to live in town. I want to be able to walk to stuff. I want a more interesting, streetscape.
Surely I'm not the only one that likes this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm an older guy, I'm independent. I don't work for corporate America. I can live where I want to live. And it turns out there's a lot of people out there like that. I mean, we started selling houses. It was always early retirement, got a bunch of money, went to school here, want to relive my youth. My kids are out of the house now.
Yeah.
Been living somewhere I don't like, want to go somewhere where I do like and start my own small law or medical practice or whatever. And there was just this whole group of people who were like highly educated, had some money, didn't need to worry about financing. They either paid cash or at least half in cash. So appraisals weren't an issue. And it just it started catching fire,
Well, you built a brand. I mean, talk about that. I mean, when did it feel like, people were like, oh, this was a Zweig house, or this is the brand, the brand was there. And were you doing the design, like a lot of the design inspiration, and then were you running the crew, like sub crews?
I mean, it started out with me and my one full-time carpenter and a couple of guys that worked, that he trained as full-time carpenters. That's how it started out. And then eventually I brought in non-licensed degreed architects.
Yeah.
To draw up what, basically I designed everything. That was the answer. I always, I've always enjoyed that. The brand was based on, I think, trying to be more authentic with what we did. One could say it's not exactly what it was when it was built. I always had people like, oh, that didn't look like. Yeah, it started as a 2-room shack. Then it was a 4-room shack. Then it got, 2 more rooms put on it and some craftsman front porch. I mean, what era do you want me to take this back to?
Yeah.
But we made things that were authentic. I mean, we believed in using, natural materials, real rock, never fake, not we used copper plumbing. We used a lot of cedar shingles. People didn't like that, but the reality was it was in natural material used here.
Yeah.
When these houses were built. We used wood siding. We used wood trim, wood floors, made our cabinets, proper muntin pattern on the windows. didn't do anything modern at all. And just getting that right, and paying a lot of attention to the details of the fence designs, the landscaping, the hardscaping. And then all our vehicles were black instead of white. Always drives me crazy, these construction companies and contractors or whatever. White trucks.
Dirty white trucks.
Why do you all drive these freaking ugly, dirty white trucks? We had all black trucks, okay? I always had an old truck. My first one I drove was a black 35 Ford pickup with a 383 stroker in it, all labeled up. Then I got a 59 Ford. Then I had a 64 Ford.
Wow.
Pickups. We had everything lettered the same. We used kind of a Led Zeppelin font.
Yep.
We had we used wooden signposts. We used wooden signs instead of some crappy stuff that blows over in the wind. And all my guys had matching shirts, which I bought from your dad's company. One of my former students used to be the sales guy there.
Yep.
I can't remember his name right now. Yeah, Will Sneed.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got his insurance agency now.
Yep. Yeah, he's a real good buddy.
Yeah, Will sold me some shirts, and so we had, it's just like nobody was doing that sort of working visibility branding at the time. And there wasn't a lot going on. And then, then the recession hit of like 08, 09, whatever. And, all these other developers and builders were tanking around here. I mean, you probably remember that. And so we just plowed along. We did really well during that time.
Because you
kept getting bigger and bigger.
Why do you think that was?
Unique offering. It was the audience that we served in large part. I mean, if you're trying to build new houses in aspirational developments where you need two career people living together
to buy one,
and one loses their job, that's not a very good combo.
Yeah.
You're going to end up with a lot of houses for sale in those places. They're not going to go up in value. People, the new developers of that stuff, at that time, it all looked the same. Everything is the same brick, in my mind, phony, neo-French country house look.
Yeah.
And that was, it didn't matter what it was. Aluminum soffits, bad windows, brick, ranch with crazy roof lines and gables on it.
Mid-90s to like 2010.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so much of that product. And the problem with that product is it's like people who want that, they buy that. Well, then if they sell it or have to lose their job or whatever, well, then nobody's going to buy the new ones that are being built next door to that. I mean, they're not going to buy there's too much to choose from.
Yeah. Nothing's different.
Yeah. I can go get this one cheap. I can get this one for less than what they paid for it. Why am I going to buy that new one over there?
So you grow this business and when does, and then you correct me if I'm wrong, then you kind of take back your old consulting firm, right?
Yeah, that happened too along the way. I mean, of course, the construction and development thing that expanded from doing old houses to where we started building new houses on lots we cut off. Then we got into subdivisions. We got into rental properties because the banks had a lot of them.
Yeah,
and so that so we ended up with a lot of rent. Then we got into commercial too, small.
Yep.
But yeah, that was growing along, and that business got on the Inc. list in 2014 as well. But,
and were you raising money at all for that,
no.
or no? That was all just you grassroots, ground
did
up.
my own thing there.
Yeah.
Never had any outside investors at all. Did borrow money.
Yeah,
had really good relationships with the banks here. Great banks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got to send a shout out to Signature Bank and Gary Head and First Western and Landon Taylor and some of the others, even Bank of Fayetteville. But anyway, so yeah, in 2010, 2009, the company that we sold in 2004, the private equity, was in terrible shape. They had borrowed a bunch of money from a mezzanine lender not to buy other companies.
Yeah.
Didn't pay any of that back. And then the mezz foreclosed on them.
Oh, gosh.
in '09. And by 2010, they called me up and asked me if I'd come back. My first thought was, no, why do I want to do that? I got this 3/4 time teaching job here at U of A at the time, and I've got this other business. I don't need this. And then, I said something to my then wife. She's like, well, maybe you should look at that. And anyway, so I did end up going back to work. I said I would only work 25%, and I wanted to relocate the HQ to Fayetteville and hire some of my friends. They're like, yeah, do whatever you want. Well, within 2 months, I did that, and we had no money. And I'm like, I had to give myself a huge pay cut, like 60% pay cut over what they paid me.
Jeez.
To start. Threw some of my money in there, and we ended up getting things turned around. I hired a friend of mine to be my CFO, who eventually became my wife after several years of being divorced from my wife that I was married to prior to her. But anyway, so yeah, she was instrumental really in helping me turn this thing around. We owed money to everybody.
Yeah.
I'd never experienced that in my life. When we sold the company, it was profitable, had no debt, and never went down. I mean, it was growing, and you get it back. Ship. And it's like, holy cow, it's like a sixth of its size. It's losing, I think, $1.4 million in '09. Wow. And it had a negative net worth of minus $6 million. Okay. So we slogged it out. We get all that turned around. We got, we did well enough. Our goal was get back on the Inc. list.
Yep.
You got to have 3 years of history to do that. We got on the Inc. list in 2013. We grew by, I think, 60% over that time period. Got the financial stuff together, got it straightened out. And then the mezzanine lender that owned the company, it's a fund.
Okay.
And they only had a 6-year life, these funds.
Yeah.
Where they get all their money, they deploy it.
Yeah, they return capital. Yeah.
And then they got to give it all back.
Yeah.
To the investors. And so they didn't want this company. And I knew, they were going to have to get rid of it. And so I sent out an email to a guy that I had only met once, who was the founder of the largest software company for the architecture and engineering industry. And I told him, I said, I think I need about $2 million to buy the company from the lender and put some a little bit of money into working capital. And he responded to me right away. He goes, oh, Mr. Zweig, I remember you. You have a good name, and I like your company. He came down and saw me within 2 or 3 days on his little private jet.
Wow. With
his CFO and his attorney. They negotiated with the lender, the deal, which is about within $50,000 of what I thought we could buy the company for.
Jeez.
And they lent me the money. They did not want to have any ownership. They lent us the money at 20% interest. They just said, we want no personal guarantee, though. Yeah. They said, we just want to get our 20% interest payments and we'll be happy. So 20% on $2 million was $400,000 a year. We paid that for 30 months, and we paid down the debt by $100K. So we paid off $1.1 million to them in 30 months, and then refinanced that with the SBA.
Okay. Yeah.
On a much lower interest rate, and eventually the company paid that down, and then paid that off. But it was at that time, at the end of 2012, 2013, when we were buying the company back. That's when Chad Kleinens came on the scene. I'd met him at a seminar that we gave and recruited him to come here. He grew up here, and to eventually be the successor. And so that worked out. That worked out well over a period of 5 years. Company got stronger, and in 2018, I sold back my ownership interest to him and a couple other partners that we brought in on a long-term deal, 15-year deal.
And talk about not maybe the lowest or a low moment during that period of like. What have I done? What have I done? Why did I jump back in this?
Oh, like, a low moment? I mean, wow.
Yeah.
There were so many of them. I mean, when you're getting 30 calls a day from bill collectors.
Wow.
Or my CFO says to me, hey, by the way, we're not going to be able to meet payroll. I need $167,000 or whatever by Friday. And it's Thursday. Those kinds of moments are like, those are really low. I think we had judgments against us where the company never even appeared in court to defend itself. Fortunately, my wife, who also wasn't my wife at that time, but, my CFO, she had worked for lawyers. She would get on the phone and call these New York attorneys and strike deals with them, even though they didn't need to give us deals.
Wow.
She got some extended payments with agreements. Like if we miss this by 1 hour, then the whole thing comes,
Yep.
She worked out a lot of deals with a lot of people. It was very, very helpful. So yeah, that was low. I think probably some of the most discouraging was before they called me, they brought in another guy who owned a lot of companies, and he was supposed to be their turnaround expert.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would get a bunch of money, do whatever we had to do, and then it would be swept out of our account in the middle of the night. He had control of the books, of the accounts initially.
Oh, gosh.
So I had to fight the lender to get control of the bank accounts because he would just sweep our money out. And he had a really great scam going where he had these offshore companies that provided IT, accounting, marketing support. So they overcharged Zweig Group, then Zweig White, okay, and sucked all the money out of it. And he never planned to turn it around. His deal with them was, if you can pay us back, I think it was $3.4 million by this date, we'll give you the company for a penny.
Oh, wow.
But he never planned to pay it back. Instead, he planned to suck all the money out of it more.
Yeah.
Okay. And get even more out of it. It was really interesting. I mean, in the end, by the way, this guy's in the federal pen now. He had a business. He owned 20 some odd businesses, but he was convicted of bribing the North Carolina insurance commissioner at some point. Very unethical guy. Yale graduate, brilliant guy, but totally
knew what
unethical.
he was doing.
Yeah. So we had to get him out. That was probably the lowest point. It's like, oh, we're going to meet payroll. Oh, no, we're not. It's, the money's gone.
So what do you, I'm sure you've had so many people who've come to you and like been in similar situations or like, well, what do you say to someone who's going through something similar right now? Whether, hey, payroll's tomorrow, can't meet it, or like, hey, we're in deep.
I don't know. What do I say to him? Don't give up. Just, you got to work your way out of it. It's one day at a time, we got to get through this day, then we got to get through this week, then we got to get through this month.
Yeah.
And it's normally when businesses have problems, it's normally not one thing. It's like 25 things. There's all these things that you can do that are that represent incremental improvements. We can pick up the cash flow if we bill everybody earlier. Why are we doing this the way we're doing?
Yeah.
We can collect our money faster if we change our collection process. If we don't send out statements and instead we send out invoices and they reflect everything that was billed prior to the current invoice in the total due and payable.
Yeah.
There's just like 10 million things we can do. Okay. Is there anybody on the payroll who's not cutting it? What can we do to get people to work harder? How can we create some kind of a system where it makes them care more?
Yeah, more motivated.
Open book management. People need to know how the place is performing. Better business planning. What are we doing new? Why are we not getting any new clients or customers? What are we doing to get? My favorite one I hear from people is, we believe word of mouth is the best marketing. I'm like, okay, so you do nothing. Okay. That's what word of mouth means.
We're going to sit back.
Yeah. I had this, I'll never forget, we had this one tenant in a commercial building we have. This guy was suffering, he's done it. But he can't even put like 2 social media posts a day out with the food that he makes at his restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. I'm like, no, bullshit. I'm sorry. You
You're
know,
just not getting it done.
there's just so many things you can do. I mean, it's really interesting to me. One of the companies I'm with now, we've had a bunch of turmoil and change in the marketing area, and just doubling up our posts every day on Facebook and Instagram, not paid, has doubled the leads.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, just go from 2 to 4 posts a day, double the leads. I mean,
where's the effort? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
There's just a million things you can do if you stop wringing your hands and just
just go down the list, start knocking them out.
Yeah.
And so you get out of that now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you say you sold your shares to some of the employees.
Right.
Maybe talk about the team at that time. What did that look like? What was how many employees you have? Or
yeah, I mean the team this last time around, I told you I had Kleinens there. He'd been there for 5 years at that point, and has worked in all areas of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I knew the guy could sell and could please clients.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah,
and then we had some other really sharp people. That were there. Jamie Kaiser, she's now working for a private equity firm that was a client of ours, but she was brilliant. She's from Fayetteville, attorney, MBA. My oldest daughter, a guy named Will Swearingen, all MBA graduates, Walton College. So we had some good people that were revenue generators, and responsible. That's the most important thing. I mean, they're responsible. And it's worked out well. I mean, they've made their payments on time, and everybody's happy. And I still write my newsletter article.
Yep.
The company's doing well. It's growing. So I think a lot of people struggle with transition in small businesses. I mean, that's part of the consulting we provide to our clients. So we better be able to demonstrate we can do
on
it
our
ourselves.
own.
Yeah. I mean, that was always fundamental to me. I mean, there was another guy in our industry that did what we did, and basically he never practiced anything that he preached.
And you can tell. Yeah.
Yeah. It just nothing. I mean, so our strategy was like, do the opposite of him and we'll probably be successful.
Figure it out. Yeah.
And we were, and it's, to me, it's fundamental. If you want to provide management advice, you have to manage your own business well.
So talk about, since you kind of sold your shares, talk about that chapter up until now. Yeah.
Well, of course, I expanded my work at the Walton College.
Yep.
And we got involved. I mean, I'm on a bunch of boards of other companies. I'm on the board of an architecture firm in New York City that's probably the best. Certainly one of the most expensive and well-recognized, traditional / classical residential architecture firms in the nation. And then I'm also, I was on with this company when it had 8 or 9 people up to a couple hundred, and I got off of their board and was an owner. And now I've rejoined Miyamoto International at the end of 2023. I came back to that company, which is an earthquake engineering and structural engineering firm.
Okay.
It's got offices around the globe. So I'm working with them on their board, and I'm a minor shareholder in the enterprise. Very interesting company. It's got a real sense of purpose. I've been on the board of Miyamoto Relief, which is the nonprofit arm that was created the whole time.
Okay.
I went back on the board of Southern Illinois University, Carbondale College of Business.
Oh, wow.
Where I went to school. That's great. They're going through a bit of a renaissance with a new dean and working on a new strategic plan to hopefully, help that school. I mean, when I went to SIU Carbondale, there were 25,000 students. Now it's got 11,000. So it's really gone through, it's kind of like in Arkansas. Like, we get all the resources here at the University of Arkansas. I mean, you've been to any of the other state schools here?
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same,
No,
right?
no.
It's like that in Illinois. It's like, go to U of I, okay, and then go to Carbondale, and you're like, whoa, they get all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody else doesn't. I mean, most all these schools get less and less state support, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the reality of it.
Mm. What would you? I mean, as far as what's going on in the University of Arkansas right now that you're, what's keeping you? I mean, how much are you teaching right now? And
well, I've got 3 classes coming up this next semester on all small enterprise management. But I'm part of a department. We were carved off. It's a department called Strategy, Entrepreneurship, and Venture Innovation.
Mm-hmm.
It was carved out of the management department. That's where we used to be.
Okay.
So really, when I started, I was like the only undergrad teacher there, entrepreneurship. We had John Johnson's always been instrumental in our program, and Carol Reeves, they focused. She was in the grad school, and he created the Sustainability Consortium, and John's has been amazing. He's been there longer than me. He may be the only guy that's been there longer than me now in our department. I can't think of anybody else. But in any case, we were carved off like probably 4 years ago. And we got this department of 20 some odd people now.
Oh, wow.
From nothing. Walton College is just great. I cannot say enough good about it. We've been really fortunate to have such great deans. From Dan Worrell, who succeeded Doyle Williams. We had another guy for a couple of years. He didn't last long. Then we got Matt Waller, who's a great guy. You probably know him or some of his kids. Matt is like, he's inspirational. He knows how to walk this line between dealing with the bureaucracy and then the private sector.
Yeah.
Better than anybody I know. Okay. How he can do it, it's like an art. And then Brent Williams now, who Matt really mentored for over 20 years. Brent is a brilliant guy too. He's very, very good communicator and just honest, sincere guy. And, we just keep getting the better and better people and offering more and more choices to our students. And it just gets better.
Yeah. Talk about like what's maybe some student success stories or like things you're proud of there, or kind of what the status of these students who are coming out of school now, like what.
That's a big part of what motivates me really, is seeing my students succeed over time. It's kind of funny. Like one of my first earliest students ended up as my next door. I've had 2 of my students as next door neighbors. Alex Blass, who you probably know, he's a developer.
Yeah.
Alex was my next door neighbor. And then, Denton Kilpatrick, his family owns the winery here.
Yeah.
He was my next door neighbor. Denton's probably the best next door neighbor I ever had. Former student. I gave the guy a B in my class when he had an 89.6. He's never let me forget about that. But I tell him it's 89.99. There's got to be a cutoff somewhere.
Yeah.
I go, it really hurt you, right? You're doing fine. It really didn't matter. But no, I like working with my students. I spend every week in meetings with students. I've probably had 4 of them this week already. Just hired one of my one of my students from last semester, not this semester. He's going to go to work at Janus Motorcycles.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is a big part of what I do now is working with that company. Didn't even get into that, but yeah, that's been a very, very fun experience in a lot of ways. Independent motorcycle manufacturer based in Goshen, Indiana, with a really unique product offering. It's a hard business, though. The capital requirements of manufacturing are just
very intense.
Yeah. And then supply chain interruptions this year really hurt us this year. And, between the tariffs and then people just saying, we're just not going to supply you with stuff. It's too much trouble. But that business is great. Just hired one of my former students, though, to move to Goshen. Is going to be an accountant for us. And he's this really bright guy. Okay. I know this guy. Yeah. Super bright, super entrepreneurial. Actually learned to ride a motorcycle on a Janus, which is super weird. Because we've only sold like 1,800 of them ever.
And somehow he ended up on one of them.
His grandpa had one.
Wow.
But no, I think, I look at some of my students, the ones that are going in business on their own.
Mm-hmm.
I helped one of my students and his brother get into the car business. And I brought an opportunity to them and they jumped on it. Another one of my friends helped finance it.
Oh, cool.
One of my students, bought the Uncle Sam's Safari Outfitters. You probably know about that.
Yeah.
It was great working with him and seeing him do that. And there's people. I got another one of my former students, a woman who's got a company called Asset Panda, which is incredibly successful. She's, a real functioning CEO of a growth tech-based company.
Wow.
So there's just, I think working with these people, staying in touch with them, helping them where I can. I'm working with two of them right now, helping them try to buy their first houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the most rewarding thing for me probably that I do.
I mean, is that a lot of what keeps you going right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, seeing them be successful.
Yeah.
And not have to sell their soul to the corporate devil.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say it's bad for everybody. I mean, there are some people that are cut out to work in corporate America.
Yeah, but you and like seeing your students create is the best, I imagine.
Yeah, strike their own path, and then suddenly they're employing other people, and then you see them doing really well, and you're like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So what's on the horizon for you? As you're looking kind of what's next? I mean, is it just, or is it, hey, this is, this just keep teaching and keep loving Fayetteville here.
That's what it is. I mean, honestly, if I had like 10 times as much cash as I have right now, I wouldn't change a single thing.
Mm.
I mean, I'm totally happy with, all my daughters live here. 5 daughters, they all live in town. How can you beat that?
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't, we don't have to travel on holidays. Everybody's doing well. All of them are thriving. That's fantastic. I got a house that's twice the size of what we need, truthfully. We got nice vehicles. If we want to go out to eat every single night this month, we will. I mean, what more do I need? I don't need to go to Europe like 5 times a year.
Yeah.
I don't really have any desire to do anything other than what I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to just sit around all day and watch TV or watch the news and get depressed. It's not that I'm not informed, but I mean, let's face it, it's bad.
Yeah.
Most of the news, so it's like, if I get to have coffee with all these different people that I meet, yesterday I had one with a new guy just moving here from Cincinnati. He's in the real estate business. The day before it was somebody else who's got, it's like I meet all these interesting people and have control over my time. I'm healthy reasonably. I've got to change my diet.
Who doesn't?
Dude, for 67 years, I ate like ribs 3 times a week and steak every single night and fries twice a day. I mean, there's absolutely totally out of control.
Yeah.
Boxes of cookies at night. I mean, I should be a lot bigger than I am if I didn't have the constant burn of the energy.
The walking around,
that it takes. But no, I'm trying to, I need to be healthier. It's not good. You get to be my age, it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
But I am super happy. I got asked that the other night it was the last class in my new venture development class. And I told them, I said, look, I want to make sure you guys got what you wanted out of this class. So tonight, ask me any question that you want on anything. I don't want to get my review and say, well, you didn't cover A, B, or C.
Yeah.
And one of them said, well, are you happy? And I said, yeah, actually I am. Okay. I thought that was an interesting question, though.
Good job for that student to ask.
Because I think a lot of people, there's so many, we talk about this all the time, Eric Howerton and I on our podcast, and a lot of misconceptions about business. People think they can have their their business that they operate from afar, that usually doesn't work out. You got to be really, really mature and have really good second tier that's worked for you for a long time.
You got to be in it.
Yeah, you got to be in it, right? And just the whole idea, of balancing work and life. We say work-life integration. It's like, it's not balanced. It's not like, no, I'm at 5:30 on Friday, I shut down and you will not hear from me until 8 a.m. Monday. That is totally unrealistic.
Yeah.
If you own a business.
It's not how you grow. It's not how people rely on you. It's like, sorry, just doesn't work.
It just ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So you better be equipped for that. If you're going to get married or have a serious relationship with somebody, they need to understand that that's part of the package.
Yeah. It's part of your life.
That's the way it is. And, there's good things that come from having your own business. You don't have to miss your kids' birthdays most of the time or things. Nobody's no boss is going to demand you come in on Saturday when you planned on going golf. You may have to go in on Saturday.
Yeah. But it's because you're self-motivated and you got to go make it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so do you want to write any more books? I mean, you've written a bunch.
Yeah, I've written a lot of books. Nobody reads anymore unless it's like 30 seconds long. I mean, the attention span is so short.
It's almost zero now.
It is. It's just amazing. You can sit there and just watch short videos all the time and do nothing else. But no, my fantasy, and I guess, I'm doing two things right now. One is one of my older daughters got me this thing for, I can't remember if it was Christmas or my birthday. It's called Storyworth. They send you a question every single week.
Oh, yeah.
About your life, and you write it. Okay.
Yep.
I think I've written 22 chapters in that so far.
Wow.
So I'm a little bit behind, but I mean, it is kind of interesting because it forces you to dig into your past, and some of the questions I think are interesting, and it sort of documents your life. That I asked one of my younger kids if she wanted, the 14-year-old, if she wanted to read any of that. She's like, no, I don't want to read any of that. But no, my fantasy, and I've had an idea for a long time, and I started on it, but I haven't devoted any time to it at all in some time, is to write a novel.
Okay. Yeah.
I like fiction and I like inspirational novels, and sort of along the lines of the Horatio Alger stories, where the person overcomes the obstacles to great success.
Yeah.
That's my basic plot line for that is about an engineer, and he it starts out where he's packing up his office, and he's in this big high rise. He's at the top. He's the boss. He's a CEO, and you don't know if he's packing it up because he just got fired, because he quit to do something else, because he retired, or what the story is. And then it flashes back to when he's 12 years old or younger. And it starts out with little stories about his life, and it'll work all the way back up to that
That's where
point.
he's at right then.
Yeah. That's
like
the basic device I'm using, but I got to do it. It's like everything else. I feel like a lot of us are just so distracted that it's very hard to work on these longer term projects.
It's almost impossible not to be distracted right now. It's like the people who are winning are not getting distracted.
I know.
I mean, that's what I think. But anyways, your story is incredible.
Oh, thanks.
Couple more questions I want to ask you kind of here at the end. Sitting down talking with somebody, and why build a business in Northwest Arkansas? On this podcast, we're really trying to focus on Northwest Arkansas business, what goes on here. If someone's thinking about coming to the area, if you have a student who's trying to start something, what do you tell them to that?
It's a great entrepreneurial area. There's lots of resources. There are a lot of people here who will help you. It's full of opportunity. I mean, I'd rather be in a place that's growing, that's on the upswing, than one that's declining. I just think it impacts everybody's sort of state of mind. Possibilities are getting better and better versus, God, there's nothing but bad news. I live in Flint, Michigan. Everybody's moving out and our water's polluted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, what you believe about yourself or your community probably becomes your reality.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes, you manifest it. And so you're in this place where everything's growing. We're growing by 50,000 a year or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Everybody's sort of optimistic. It's like, yeah, there's bad stuff happening in the world, but not here. Okay. Here's good. All right. It's a great place to be. Why not be part of something like that where you have a chance to be one of the movers and shakers?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to establish yourself, let's face it, in New York or LA or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or even Dallas.
Or Dallas. It's just so big.
Yeah.
It's so big.
You stand out here a little faster. And
yes. Yeah. Come on, join the party over here. Help make it happen. I mean, I think if you really look, some of the other things about Northwest Arkansas that I think are really unusual. I do give the Northwest Arkansas a lot of credit, council. Yeah. Northwest Arkansas Council. I think they've sort of, I could be wrong, but my impression is that they have engineered the entire area in its totality instead of each town sort of fighting with each other. They've created this scenario where each town has a unique identity.
Yeah.
And a unique place in this overall metro area of 600,000 or whatever we are now. Mm-hmm. If you look at like Bentonville and then you look at like Rogers and you got downtown Rogers and Pinnacle and the lake and all the arts in Bentonville. And then now we got Springdale downtown, which, 20 years ago, my God.
It's nothing.
Nothing. I mean, I could have bought, I had a friend of mine said we should go down there and buy whole blocks of properties for $100,000. Yeah. Because, I said we could do that, but it's going to be 20 years before it's worth anything.
Yeah.
And I was right. It is worth a lot now. But I'm just saying, it's like it's got its new thing with all these restaurants and young people going down there. Mm-hmm. And then Fayetteville's got the university, and we've got, this sort of older, independent thinking group of people along with younger.
Yep.
So there's just all these areas have their sort of position in this thing that's just getting better and better.
Mm-hmm. But a consciousness about the whole, the collective, the family, or whatever you call it, about the region.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yes. And great businesses here. I mean, let's face it, we got Fortune 1.
Yeah.
Everybody that supports those companies. People don't realize it, but if you came, like the guy I just had coffee with yesterday, his wife works for Procter & Gamble. Mm-hmm. They just moved here from Cincinnati.
Yep.
And, they don't send their bad people to Fayetteville. They send their best people.
Yeah, they're A players.
They're A players to Northwest Arkansas to serve their biggest client.
Yeah.
And, he was just like, he said to me, though, I just can't take it's so much nicer here than it was living in Cincinnati, because I just can't believe it. It's everybody's nicer here.
Yeah.
Everything's nicer. Everybody's nicer.
People come here not knowing what they're going to get, and they get surprised. And
they always do. They're like, I had no idea Arkansas was this nice. My dad hated Arkansas with a passion.
Yeah.
He grew up there in Missouri, and he had an uncle who was a pig farmer somewhere in Northwest Arkansas. I can't tell you where.
Yeah.
But this guy was an oil man in Oklahoma, and then during the Depression lost everything. He ends up a pig farmer living in a 300 square foot log cabin with a dirt floor. And my dad's mom sent him here in the summer
to live with him
and help out. And he hated Arkansas because of that. And anyway, when I bought that house here, we're going 20 plus years ago, he came down here to visit. He's like, this can't be. He goes, it's just too nice around here.
Yeah,
he goes,
it is.
This isn't Arkansas. He goes, he kept saying to me, show me something crappy. Okay. So I'm serious. My oldest brother was flying in from New Jersey to XNA, and we drive through Cave Springs to get there. And what downtown Cave Springs looked like 20 years ago, my dad's like, oh, He goes, thank God. He goes, this is what Arkansas is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But no, it's just everybody says that to us.
Mm-hmm.
We bring clients down here. We bring people we're trying to hire down here, and they're all like, holy cow. I'm involved, like when we recruit people in our department, they let me take them around and show them the area now.
Yeah, that's probably pretty fun.
It's fun, and they're always impressed.
Yeah.
You know, they're always so surprised. I had no idea. I mean, you're not all hillbillies with, outhouses and bad teeth. I mean, no, we're not.
No. That's great. I mean, we can go on this forever. The last question for you is, how do you define success?
Oh, that's easy. Spending your time the way you want with the people you want to spend it with. That the more you can say you do that, that's success.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything other than, of course it's important to have your family be healthy and happy and all those things. But that's part of it,
Yeah.
But being able to spend your time the way you want with people you want to be with.
That's pretty special. Yeah.
It is.
Well, Mark, thanks a bunch for coming on with it. Usually Nick does this, but he's not here today. But we usually kind of talk about, hey, what stood out on as far as, so I'm talking about like what I really learned from this conversation being, number one, persevere no matter what season you're in your business. I'm going to take that and just and continue to keep that at the top of my head with everything I'm doing. And then number two, you've got to be active in your business.
Yeah, you really do.
There's no like set it and forget it and see it in 5 years. It's like,
yeah, there's no passive investments. That's my favorite in real estate. Passive. No, it's not passive. It's not anything close to passive. There's no businesses you're going to start up and a year later run from afar.
Yeah.
It just ain't going to happen, dude. Get in there, get in with it, do the work alongside your people, deal with your clients or customers directly.
Experience the hard stuff.
Yep.
Live in it, be in it.
And it's rewarding though, I just think people need to understand you'll never fail if you don't give up.
Yeah.
And I hate that mantra about fail early, fail often, fail a lot, failure's great, learn from failure. We can do all those things and we got to if we fail. But I see a distinction between failing in business and experimentation. You can experiment.
Yeah.
Experiments will fail, but you're not failing as a business or as a person.
No. Does this work? Maybe not. Yeah. Shut it down. Try this. Does this work? Yeah, this worked great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that gets confused by this pop culture and out there of failure's great. So if I start a business and I fail, that's no problem. No, it's going to be a big problem for you, dude.
Yeah.
You'll ruin your credit, your reputation. People get hurt.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
No. Well, this has been absolutely fantastic, Mark. If people want to get to know you more, learn more about you, what's the best way to
connect with me on LinkedIn? I think I am very active on LinkedIn. It seems to me to be one of the best social media platforms.
Yeah.
At least I keep the politics and goof cat videos out of it. That's a good place. Tune in to our podcast, www.bigtalkaboutsmallbusiness.com. And I don't know what else. Give me a call.
Great. Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cameron.
It's been an awesome morning here.
Well, it's been fun spending time with you.